Ladies and gentlemen, even Democrats don't want to abide by their nutty and absurd policy objectives, packing the court being one of them. So there are some policies that are rooted in, like, noble... So there are certain noble policies, like Medicare for all, that they won't vote on. And there are certain, because it's probably not feasible, but according to Democrats and left-leaning advocates, it will save lives tomorrow. So Democrats then promptly refuse to vote on it, have a floor vote on it, and then try to vilify people like Jimmy Dore, who is a hero. What did he do wrong? The man simply told the Democratic Party to live up to its ideals. They always deceive their voters. Their voters always come back for more because, oh my God, Trump, the Orange Menace. But he's the one who got us out of never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. He's the one who negotiated a deal on May 1st, 2021 to remove Americans from a region of the world we've been in for 20 years. He also presided over signed prison reform legislation, Abraham Accords, first president to step foot in North Korea. So Democrats pick the worst the worst option, definitely the greater evil, so to speak, by always voting Democrat just because, oh my God, we can't have 4 years of Trump. And by the way, the pandemic was not Trump's fault. We had record low unemployment throughout most, or at least half of his tenure. And Democratic-run states have the worst outcomes. The most draconian policies, the most heavy-handed policies led to the worst outcomes. Go to the New York Times statistics. The top 4 highest per capita rates are New York, New Jersey, and 2 other Democratic-run states. You can look, 7 of the top 11 states with the greatest number of lives lost are Democratic-run states in terms of the pandemic. So that's not Trump's fault. They yelled and screamed and melted down for 4 years because they couldn't have the Orange Menace. Now you have Biden, who won't support court packing. What he'll do is, which is the worst idea, the most irrational, short-sighted, absurd, ludicrous idea. You can't simply pack Supreme Court justices knowing that once you lose control, and they will lose control of the House, that's a virtual certainty in 2022, and very likely, or possibly, the Senate, and the presidency eventually, hopefully in 2024. I'm not a Republican. I like President Trump, so hopefully President Trump runs. I would not vote for Mitt Romney. I would just enjoy actually watching Biden obliterate Romney or Ben Sasse if they were the GOP nominee. That would actually be enjoyable for me. Not from a political perspective, but just seeing the never-Trumpers have to deal with a catastrophic political loss like that. But anyway, they're against court packing. Even Pelosi is. Pelosi rejects fellow Democrats' court packing bill, will not bring it to vote. This is the New York Post. The article goes on to talk about how she's waiting to see what the commission... There's a 36 or 32 person panel of all the experts, the smartest people in the room. Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe right now to this channel. I might not be the smartest person in the room, but I am going to explain how Democrats utilize studies and consensus and the smartest people in the room and experts and just the most intelligent people who are qualified to decide your life and the future of this country. By the way, the smartest people in the room got us into Vietnam. Only Ivy League, esteemed, renowned scholars got us into the worst, one of the most devastating conflicts we've ever had. If the most devastating conflict we've ever had. And God bless the Vietnam veterans of this country. God bless the veterans of this country. The same people got us into Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld's foreign policy. But anyway, I digress. Now the smartest people in the room from the producers of Never-Ending Counterinsurgency Conflicts bring you... packing the courts. Okay, Stephen Breyer is against it. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is against it. Pelosi is pretty much against it. She wants to wait until the commission. Biden is against it. We'll see what this wonderful commission of 32 or 36 or 40 people, the smartest people in the room, say. President Trump is against it, obviously. President Trump got 3 Supreme Court justices. He was he accomplished so much, and Republicans, they thanked him by investigating him with a dossier that Clinton and the DNC purchased. But Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett, 3 Supreme Court justices that are conservative. Okay. They knew the rules. They cheated Bernie Sanders in 2016. Their hubris, their arrogance, their narcissism caused a devastating political defeat in terms of the Supreme Court. It wasn't people like me who wrote, I'm not voting for Clinton, no matter what. I don't care if Supreme Court, I'm not voting for Clinton. It wasn't, and now I'm advocate the Second Amendment, if this is the thing, if you've received a death threat, then arm yourself. That's what the police told me. That's what I did. It's interesting when the left says, I received this and I received that. And that's horrible. They shouldn't. But then utilize the Second Amendment. Protect yourself. So if you're not a Hollywood celebrity, you don't have a security detail, you don't have the money to have your own bodyguards, and even that comes with risks, maybe you should just utilize the Second Amendment to protect yourself. So they did this also. I mean, politicians, I don't want to get into it. Politicians, oh my God, the Trumpers could go after us at any moment. Then arm yourself. If you're worried about that, then arm yourself. And you see the tragedies taking place, the copycat atrocities, these criminals that decide that they've had enough with life. And there's something that goes on with these maniacs. But Democrats say, we're going to restrict the rights of Americans to defend themselves. Well, if you really believe, and honestly, I think we all do at this point right now, you can go anywhere and experience some kind of maniac trying to ruin the world because his or her life is ruined. Wouldn't you want to just defend yourself? Wouldn't you want to have the right to conceal carry or to open carry or to just defend your family? Or, God forbid, your last moments will be Pelosi and Biden, that wonderful control legislation, curbing the Second Amendment, this would have protected me. No, you wouldn't say that. Anyway, that's another story. Democrats don't have good ideas. Their ideas stink, generally. Their ideas are fueled by emotion and by myths that they create in their mind. Similar to Trump Russia. Every mass atrocity that takes place, you see, if we just had laws, you're dealing with a maniac criminal. I don't think he cares. I think that he would have almost certainly, like most crimes, obtained the weapon illegally. Like most crimes. Even the Washington Post said, 60 to 70%. Oh, I think around 70% of crimes take place with illegally obtained firearms. But here, the issue with the court packing is this. You add a certain number of Supreme Court justices just to do what? So you can have a couple years of favorable Supreme Court rulings, and then the other side adds even more Supreme Court justices, and the other side loses, then you go back and add more, and then so you'll have what? I mean, do you cap it? At what point? You have 1,005 liberal justices, and then 1,002 1,003 conservative. How does that work? You lost because you cheated Bernie Sanders. So getting back to that, you lost because you cheated Bernie Sanders. You cheated, okay? You blamed Russia for 4 years, all right? You did that. Yes, you did. And then you blame Trump. Then you blame Putin for informing us that Bernie Sanders was railroaded. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign. Nobody wanted to vote for Clinton. Like I said, people say, oh, well, you said this would happen. I'm the only person on the left who stated, pretty much the only person on the left who stated that Clinton would lose in 2016. Okay, that alone, I should be able to just live off of that forever, but nobody even remembers that, so there you go. NPR quoted me. The link is on hagoodman.com. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Nobody remembers that, but okay, it's on it's on my website. I was the only person on the left saying, in the Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, other publications, Clinton's going to lose. Nobody listened. She lost. You then lost a generation of Supreme Court justices. Don't blame people who said they wouldn't vote and fall in line for a corrupt political party. Then you did that to yourselves. If you wanted a fair and neutral primary, you wanted to ensure your voters wouldn't not vote or vote for Trump, then why did you cheat? And then you blame Trump for cheating. Then you called him an illegitimate president for 4 years. Then he called his adversary the same thing. Oh my God. They're the biggest hypocrites on the planet. When they get treated in the manner that they treat others, oh, it's the end of the world. It's the end of the world, don't you know? But anyway, look, the bottom line is this. Even Pelosi doesn't want to. Even she sides with Trump. And this is absolutely hilarious. Because court packing is the worst idea of all time. Now, there is an idea rooted in a noble cause to try to right the wrongs of the past, the evils of the past. So there's a study on reparations. Okay, Democrats are lying. They don't need to study. You already know the history. We all know the history. So either Democrats want to or they don't. They're lying. They utilize these studies the way they push narratives through studies that work for them and then ignore studies that don't work for them. Experts, they never interview experts that disagree with them, only the experts that agree with them. The consensus among experts that agree with them is what you should care about. The consensus among experts that disagree with them and the studies that disagree with them, they're all quacks and phonies and horrible. You should never listen to them because that's the way Democrats work. Pure public relations. Everyone's doing it, you know. Everyone's doing it. You should listen too. I mean, come on. Anybody who thinks a certain way, Trump inspired, it's Trump inspired, the supremacists inspired. So they know what they're not going to implement Medicare for all ever. They're not going to implement court packing, almost certainly. They're trying to just use it as this political stunt. And if they do try to pack the courts, you'll probably get Democrats, because a lot like gun control legislation, the Democrats will not, like Joe Manchin won't vote for, so that even Democrats don't believe they're nonsense. You have Democrats and then you have Adam Kinzinger, who voted alongside President Trump 90+% of the time, according to 538. If you're a never Trumper who votes for president alongside President Trump, Cheney also, 90+% of the time, you're doing it for public relations. But this world revolves around public relations. The reason that I survived and flourished, and thank God, like my channel's doing good, and I didn't, when they, on a microscopic scale, they really went after me in 2016. Hit pieces in the Daily Beast, a whole bunch of other publications. Why? Because I was an obstacle. My writing was going viral. My ideas were resonating. And they were given a stamp of approval by every editor at those publications. The point is, I was an obstacle. They said, "Oh my God, this person is so horrible. He's lost it. He's a bad person. Oh my God, yeah. He's engaged in Bernie Sanders, type of film. We don't even want to get into it." Like, they tried to demean my thought process. But anyway, by utilizing insults, it didn't faze me because I had the same amount, if not more, of disdain for them as they had for me. So I didn't care. I was old enough at that point to not really care what anyone thought of me. And that's how you combat or, ignore the Democratic Party public relations machine. You shouldn't care what they say about you. That's why I'm no longer on Twitter for a number of reasons, but it's just a cauldron of discontent. It's a waste of time. Not so much that I care about people who didn't dislike me, but I spent too much time arguing with people that I didn't care about. So it was a waste of time. Get off of Twitter, get off of Facebook, and just call the people you care about, or see them, or visit them, or email them. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. This is another stupid idea from a political party that's propped up by everybody from Jimmy Kimmel to James Comey. If they don't have FBI directors, late night, all of the music industry, MSNBC, CNN, social media algorithms, if they don't have every single possible advantage, they have nothing. because their ideas are usually, some of the ideas are noted in beautiful, noble, some left-leaning ideas are beautiful and noble. That's true. It's true. Some Democratic Party ideas are beautiful and noble. I'll admit that. But a lot are just completely irrational, absurd, and overt attempts at just gaining political power. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Share this segment.